Welcome to the Memorial to Enslaved Communities presentation for Liberation and Freedom Day. We apologize, we can't be on campus today because of the pandemic and restrictions. This is a collaboration of some descendants and some those who have put together an array of entertainment for you. We just want you to enjoy yourself and to have a good time. Thank you for joining.
We are here today to pay tribute to our ancestors and to celebrate their achievements. With that, I have to pour libation. Now, the ancestors didn't speak English, they spoke African language. So I'm going to do one of the languages in Africa, which is Ghana language. When work with ake wa jinye wa no ni fe no ni fe no fe no pepe no kra aka ba aka tra alo eha ni afi no ni wota wo no wo fe wo be he make me na foko fe won bia me and Babu, no friend, no, or I fear, pepe. I go.
Amen.
I go.
Amen.
I go.
Amen.
Cha cha omanyaba. Yeah. Cha cha omanyaba.
Yeah.
Cha 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 omanyaba.
Yeah.
Oh, beke or queen. One, you know. Cha omanyaba. Yeah.
Hello, I'm Halise Henderson, a board member of Descendants of Enslaved Laborers at UVA, and also I am a very proud descendant of an enslaved laborer at the University of Virginia. What does the Memorial to Enslaved Laborers at the University of Virginia mean to me? It means to me honoring and recognizing my ancestor, Jim Henderson, and the other 4,000 slaves who built this institution. It means telling their stories and the start of righting a wrong.
My name is Lorenzo Dickerson, and I'm a native of Albemarle County, Virginia. And several of my ancestors in the Maupin family were enslaved at the University of Virginia, including Garland, William Dabney Maupin, and Sam Maupin. What the memorial means to me as a filmmaker and a storyteller, being that uncovering these important stories of our history is of the utmost importance. It means a physical acknowledgement of the work that these folks did to build the university and their contribution. So me being someone who was born at the University of Virginia and who now is employed by the University of Virginia, the location means more than just being a destination to me at this point, knowing this history. It changes that a little bit for me, and it gives it more importance.
My name is Joseph L. Creasy. This memorial means to me that I stand here today on the shoulders of my great-great-uncle Peyton Skipwith, who labored here as a for-hire slave laborer from Bremo Plantation in Fluvanna County 160 years ago. And I can thank him this day for his perseverance toward freedom on my behalf. God bless him and all others memorialized here.
One day, when the glory comes, it'll be ours, it'll be ours. Oh, one day, when the war is won, we will be sure, we will be sure. Oh, glory, 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 glory. oh, one day, when the war is won, it'll be ours, it'll be ours, oh, one day, when the war is won, we will be sure, we will be sure, oh, glory, 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 oh, glory. I am not unmindful that some of you have come here today out of great trials and tribulations. Some of you fresh from narrow jail cells. Some of you from places where your quest for freedom has left you battered by the storms of persecution and staggered by the winds of police brutality. We have become the veterans of creative suffering. Continue in the faith that unearned suffering is redemptive. Now go back to Mississippi, go back to Alabama, go back to South Carolina, go back to Georgia, go back to the slums and ghettos of our northern cities, knowing that somehow this situation can and will be changed. Let us not wallow in the valley of despair. And so I say to you, today, my friends, although we may face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. And one day, when the glory comes, it'll be ours, it'll be ours, oh, one day. When the war is won, we will be sure, we will be sure, oh, glory, 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 glory. Now the war is not over and victory isn't won, but we'll fight on to the finish. And when it's all done, we'll cry glory, oh, glory, oh, glory, oh, glory.
As I walk the path of this memorial dedicated to the enslaved and free Black communities who labored here at the University of Virginia, I hear their voice saying, "You thought we had been forgotten, but we're still here." We've never left, for our spirits will always be here, for we're the ones who built this university. We're the ones who laid the bricks one by one to house you, buildings to hold your meetings, to educate your children, and cook your meals. We toiled night and day to make life better for you, while our families were trying to have a life. Your life became my father's, my mother's, my aunties, my brothers, my uncles, my sister's life, while our life was struggling and empty without our loved ones. For we didn't always see our loved ones because they were here building this university. A university that wouldn't even allow us, the ones who built it, to attend it. However, the enslaved and Black communities held on to one thing that kept them through hard times and through the good times, and that is God. It was their faith through Him that kept them going, because they knew that if they put their trust in Him, He would bring them through, like He's always done so many times before. It was through Him that we could see the light at the end of the tunnel. And we're still moving toward that light through our ancestors' spirit, and we will do so for generations to come. So we rise to the occasion of keeping our ancestors' spirits and memories alive until their souls are at rest. Now I shall read the poem Still I Rise by Maya Angelou, because I believe it captures the essence of the enslaved ancestors and of those who would carry their legacy forward. Still I rise. You may write me down in history with bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still, like dust, I'll rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? Because I walk like I've got oil wells pumping in my living room? Just like moons and like suns with the certainty of tides, just like hopes springing high, still I rise. Did you want to see me broken? Bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries? Does my haughtiness offend you? Don't take it awful hard, because I laugh like I've got gold mines digging in my own backyard. You may shoot me with your words. You may cut me with your eyes. You may kill me with your hatefulness, but still, like air, I rise. Does my sexiness upset you? Does it come as a surprise that I dance like I've got diamonds at the meeting of my thighs? Out of the huts of history's shame, I rise. Up from a past that's rooted in pain, I rise. I'm a black ocean, leaping and wide, wailing and swelling, I bear in the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise. Into a daybreak that's wondrously clear, I rise. Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I'm the dream and the hope of the slave. I rise. I rise. I rise.
My name is Kimberly Cottrell Dickerson. Several of my Cottrell ancestors, including Jim, Lucy, and Dolly, were enslaved at UVA. To me, the memorial represents a visible reminder of the true history of slavery and racism at UVA. But it also represents a space to remember the courage and contributions of my ancestors and the thousands of others named and unnamed.
My name is Carrie Marcel Coles Oates. In honor of the memorial to enslaved laborers and in memory of our nameless ancestors, I would like to recite a poem that I wrote which reflects what memorial to enslaved laborers means to me. I have no name, and that's fine with me. I descend from Al-Kebulon, the land of the blacks. Others call it the motherland or Mother Africa. There is no colonized name that is befitting of who and what I am. If I was a man practicing in the African tradition of Akan, and I was born on a Saturday, my name would be Kwame. If I was born on a Friday, my name would be Kofi. If I was an Igbo woman, maybe my name would be Adeze or King's daughter. Nothing about a slaveholder's name represents anything about me. What I am, they think, was stolen from me. As I look forward, and I want my children, my grandchildren, and great-grandchildren to know this. We are guided by the stars. We are guided by the spirit and energy of our known and unknown African ancestors. We are perfectly aligned. We are generationally protected, indestructible, and abundantly blessed. Ashe.
Once again, I have no choice. Not like when a so-called friend thrust himself into my sacred space without invitation. My decisions leading to that moment were innocent and mine, and he was not my choice. Not like when my firstborn became an ancestor before his first breath. My body made a choice my heart did not agree to. Not like when my first ancestor made the choice to ignore me until I became this force of nature that could no longer be denied. No, this time is not like any other time in my lifetime or yours or anyone's. We have no choice but to stay inside if we want to live, but to wear a mask if we want to live, but to wash our hands of our selfishness. Oh, wait, no, that's something else. But to wash our hands if we want to live. We have no choice but to die if the police see fit. We have no choice but to grieve for the lives lost, for the weightlessness I felt last night. I have no choice but to find a way not only to survive, but to thrive. My daughter, who is your mother or grandmother, deserves a chance to live the life she came here to create and pave the way for you to exist. My daughter deserves a chance to go to school and not get shot, to go jogging and not get shot, to drive a car and not get shot, to go to worship and not get shot, to sleep in her bed and not get shot. Choices people make every day with no consequence should not cost us our lives. I've paid my dues and my debts. I have no choice but to reap all I have sown from my tears, grown underground, creating springs, cycling back to sustain life. I have no choice but to arm myself with whichever weapon will do the most damage. Today it's the pen, maybe tomorrow the sword, never again silence. I have no choice but to raise my voice and my frequency. Death and disease are not mutually exclusive in these times. It takes more than quick wit and clever rhymes to lift up a nation born from excellence that doesn't know it exists. We have no choice if we want our children to have children. We want our children to have children. We have to save ourselves from any and all oppressors, save our planet from any and all transgressors, save our souls with any God you choose, save our sanity, our minds we cannot afford to lose, save our money and stop being nigger rich, save our families no matter who you are with. If I want my descendants to read this poem, I have no choice.
Okay? So it's important to have these things up. Of course, you have the timeline. And when you have time, you come back and you absorb the timeline and what was happening and what they pulled of what the slaves were doing. Here we go. In 1863, Charlottesville Baptist Church, its black congregants, including those enslaved at UVA, successfully petitioned white church leaders to establish separate services for African American members. That's the origin and the beginning of First Baptist Church.
I've been walking with my face turned to the sun. Weight on my shoulders, a bullet in my gun. Oh, I got eyes in the back of my head, just in case I have to run. I do what I can when I can, while I can for my people. While the clouds roll back and the stars fill the night, that's when I'm gonna stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home, far across the river. Can you hear freedom calling, calling me to answer? Gonna keep on keeping on. I can feel it in my bones. Early in the morning, before the sun begins to shine, we're gonna start moving towards that separating line. gonna stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home, far across the river. Can you hear freedom calling, calling me to answer? Gonna keep on keeping on. And I know what's around the bend might be hard to face 'cause I'm alone, and I just might fail, but Lord knows I'll try. Shine stars fill up the sky. Stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home, far across the river. Can you hear freedom calling, calling me to answer? Gonna keep on keeping on. I'm gonna stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home, far across the river. Do you hear freedom calling, calling me to answer? Gonna keep on keeping on. I'm gonna stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home, far across the river. I hear freedom calling, calling me to answer. Gonna keep on keeping on. I can feel it in my bones. I go to prepare a place for you. I go to prepare a place for you. I go to prepare a place for you. I go to prepare a place for you.
First Baptist Church. It was then Delavan. And William Gibbons, which is on the wall right here. Here's Isabella here. Isabella Gibbons is on the wall.
Yes.
Her husband is William Gibbons. He was the first black pastor of First Baptist Church.
Right.
So I want, before you leave, take a moment, if you do nothing else when you come visit the monument, read her quote.
Following is a quote from Isabella Gibbons in 1867. Can we forget the crack of the whip, cowhide, whipping post, the auction block, the handcuffs, the Spaniards, the iron collar, the Negro trader tearing the young child from his mother's breast as a whip from the lioness? Have we forgotten that those horrible cruelties, hundreds of our race have been killed? No, we have not, nor ever will.
Thank you from the descendants of the enslaved communities at the university. We hope you've enjoyed this Liberation and Freedom Week presentation. Thank you.